Hi everyone and welcome back. I'm getting a bit bored of this project. It's quite a simple, boring, straightforward project in many ways, and is never going to look great. So, yeah, I'm not overly keen on it as a project, but it needs finishing so that someone can get something from it. A couple of things to do today. Definitely front wheel. I want to try the other speedo drive to see if it solves our speedo problem. We definitely know this works because when we take it out and spin it, this works. So definitely works. But why it's not when going forward is weird. If I spin the wheel backwards, this drive is spinning. So it might be that the square on the inside is rounded off and it's spinning forward, but it's catching. It might be something like that. I'm not really quite sure, but there's something going on there. So that wheel off. And the other wheel off, and I'm not going to swap the wheels, I'm just going to swap the drive itself. Rear wheel swap, tempting. I'm going to consider it. Considering swapping the rear wheel. I do prefer that tyre is a bit thicker. I think it will suit the Street Fighter look a bit more. So I think it's probably worth doing. It's really quite thin, this one, look. Slightly thicker one makes a difference. And then a bit of wiring. I just want to check to see what's going on as to why the lights are slightly engaged. I think somehow they're connected to the neutral light. I have no idea where or how. My only guess is that the originals that I branched into, someone has messed them up along the way, because remember, we couldn't find the neutral light. So it could be that someone's chopped the neutral at some point earlier on and I've spliced into what they used. It didn't appear to be that, but something like that, which is fine. So all of this, it would be fine now, by the way. I'd be quite happy to use it with that. It doesn't bug me too much. So at the moment, it all works normally like it should. But when you put it into gear, they come on a touch, look, and then the indicator still flashes them, or at least it did. Yeah, see, it's a bit messy. It's definitely hooked into the neutral light somehow. I just need to work out how. What was the other thing? Coolant. Let's check. The whole time I've been saying I need to just check that it's got coolant in there. So that's not. It's got a little screw on it. So we'll take the screw off. Take it off. Just check that it's full. I've got some good coolant up there. Wouldn't hurt to flush it. I'm not sure I've got enough to do that, but let's see what it looks like. Otherwise, I will flush it. I'll order some new one. I've got it here for another week anyway. So, yeah, let's get that off and have a little look. So coolant's topped off, and it looks like good coolant. I'm going to leave that alone. Seems fine. It hasn't overheated on me. So I'm going to leave that alone, put it back on. The reason I asked about a screw is because some of these have screws to help hold them in. You don't see it always, but yeah, on occasion you do. So this one did have it. So you put the screw in and it stops it turning backwards on there. So be careful if you're there trying to turn something. Do have a little look. Check there's no screw on it. I'm happy with that. That goes back on. That's left alone. Oil drop yesterday. I'll check the oil level now while cold this morning. I want to move the exhaust down a touch. I'm going to do that while cold this morning. And let's get this boss sorted. I'll go and get the other bike and we'll get them in the air. So there's the driver. It does look good. It looks fine. I'll give it a bit of a clean on the outside. The grease is nice and greasy, which is good. Grease can get a bit tacky at times. Yeah, fine. Happy with that. So let's switch him across. Bit of a iffy setup here. Ideally, you want the jack under the engine or something, but of course there isn't an engine on this one. Again, next week I've got a scrapper, a nice guy who I've known for a while, coming to take a lot of parts, including this, so that's good. So yeah, I mean, there's still stuff on this that's still kind of worth money. The wheels, the tyres, the rear seat, bits and pieces, lots of things you wouldn't consider. You know, all the systems that you'd think aren't really worth much. You've got the rear brake system, the calipers on both front and the rear. There's definitely parts on here worth salvaging, and he does me a favour by clearing up the garage. So I don't charge him a penny. He takes anything I want to get rid of. Old engines kicking about with starter motors and rear wheels and innings and this and stators. And yeah, he clears them out for me, so I look forward to that. Every now and again I do want a big clear out of the garage to get rid of bits and pieces. This is my main corner here. I can't stand bikes being stocked up over here in this corner, not helped by the S-Cargo. Right, so let me switch these across and hopefully that one will work. So they're switched across. You can see I was talking about oil, the grease going bad. I mean, it's pretty rough in here. The new one looked much better, so it should work. If you can get the front of the bike off the ground, you can spin the wheel and that will actually turn it on the clock. So that's an option, or of course you can take it out for a spin. If I tried to turn the drive in here, yeah, it's turning, but it is very gunky and it's kind of worn itself away there. And then the other thing we're looking at was the condition of the square in there, which is actually quite rounded. So hopefully this new one works. I might just give it a quick blast. I'm going to just check the oil first because we're up straight now and the bike's cold and been sitting overnight, so it is a good time to check it. Obviously use your hands and fingers to clear it and then dip away. There you go, we're at a nice lovely level there. I'm happy with that. I might just slip the exhaust down a touch now, just while it's fresh in my mind and it's cold. It sounds silly, that one, right? I'm going to give it a quick clean here before slipping it down. It sounds silly, but I don't like the exhaust sticking out too far. I like a shorter exhaust, so it will look a touch shorter. If I just slide it down to here, it will just look a bit, it will just come down this much. I mean, it's you know, it'll be a negligible difference, but yeah, I do prefer it to look a bit short, so I'm going to bring it down as far as it will go and still seal. So I'll loosen this up here. So oil's good, speedo should be working again. I'm actually going to test run it once I've shortened this to check that out, and then I'm considering the rear wheel, aren't I? It is a bit fat. I do think it would make a difference. I'm in two minds. Maybe I should just clean this chain, leave it. Yeah. Right, exhaust. I've just remembered something. Do you guys remember when we first got this, there was what appeared to be a huge curb knock in the wheel, like it had hit a curb hard with a flat tyre. It looked huge on the camera, but that day I'd inspected it. Let me try and find it for you, because I want to convince you and myself that it's not too bad. And the wheel has held air the whole time. But let me find that. I'm going to get it off the stand and try and find it so we can have another look, because otherwise that would be nuts not to do it now while we've got it. So let's check. So it's here, look. So it looks massive on camera, but it's not overly. I might even just knock it in a touch, just in the middle. Yeah, it's not. I mean, I've seen bad rims. It doesn't worry me enough. I might put a bar on it, just knock it in a touch, but it's definitely solid. It's definitely holding air. It's definitely slightly out, but it doesn't worry me enough. Although I'm gonna really consider this now, why we have access to the other one. The other tyre is quite nice. This tyre is brand new though. Right, I'm gonna try and knock it in a tiny bit to see if that helps. If I'm happy with it, I'm keeping it. Yeah, I'm okay with that. I don't think it's enough of an issue, especially after being tapped in a touch. It doesn't feel weak or anything. Let's fire up. I didn't realise this bike had a battery in it, and that battery seems to be charging, so I might have a good battery at home. Listen to the sound of this one. It's very weak. Listen. So hopefully the newer one is a bit more solid in its cranking. Otherwise I'll buy one. It's really not the end of the world. The main thing is I don't like wasting batteries and chucking and whatever, you know, if it's unnecessary. I forgot, let me get this done here. I want to push you back a tiny bit. You will hardly notice, but it just won't stick out as much. Yep. Yep, better. I'd rather a shorty on here. What have we got? We've got a shorty. Would it be much louder though? Is there a baffle in there? No, but I've got a baffle on order. I might try. Right, let's warm this up. Let me just see if that speedo's working. I think the shorty will be quite a bit louder, but it's tempting, isn't it? It will look so much better. I might have to. Yeah, worked beautifully. I was panicking. I was thinking it wasn't reading right. See KM there. That KM is for the innings. Miles per hour is the white. It's a bit confusing. Look, because the KM's there, it makes you think that's KM, but no, white. Oh, that's white as well. Yeah, so it definitely was reading properly, because it was right up there, and I was thinking, hang on a minute. You know, I was thinking, what's going on? How can it be right up up there? When it should be down here, but actually, yeah, of course, I've got it mixed up. Good. We're in a good space. Clutch feels horrible. It's actually bent up and to the side. You alright? That's a nice brand new clutch lever with housing. I'm actually going to try and just get the arm for next week. Just the arm, and keep all this, because if anyone wants to add mirrors, they can. This one doesn't have a mirror stem, so yeah, I'm going to keep that as it is. Right, I think, annoyingly, I've got to get back into the electrics. I need to at least disconnect whatever's causing it to put the light on when it's in gear. It doesn't make sense to me, because when the neutral light's on, it would be on in neutral, of course, and then not on the others. So why is it now? It's like something's been reversed. So I need to pull all this off again and have a little look, see what's going on. I mean, it can't be that wrong, because look, you've got the two wires here going back to there. The only thing it can be is whatever I've spliced into here is causing the issues. So I might need to cut them wires and see if that changes the problem. Again, let me just show you. At the moment, it's good and they work normally, of course, but once I put it into gear, watch this, into gear, they come on. I don't know if the rears come on. Do they come on? The rears don't come on. So there's obviously something. Gear selector is so much smoother. Makes a huge difference. Although I just missed neutral, didn't I? Now we know it's neutral because that's not on. See, not on when it's neutral. It doesn't make sense. But yeah, let me get back in there, see what's going on. At the moment, we've got speed. We've got a battery at home charging, which probably will be good. Everything's clean and done. The oil's changed. The spark plug looked brand new. The air filter looked very good. It's not worth changing. It's got coolant. The wiring, apart from this issue, is okay all over. We're close to it being ready for a sale, actually.